started finding stuff that I had 10 seconds ago, right? That's how it starts. Put my tool belt down, click stream. So we wrapped up everything else on the car. We were just starting on the windshield, and then I had a couple things to take care of. So we're just jumping into this. I did manage to quickly, oh, there's my roll. It's right there on the seat. I did manage to sweep off the inside. It's one of the most annoying things to try and do with the camera. But everything else is more fun. So we're gonna line this with our glass aid, go about halfway, and then I'm gonna jump over to the other side. Let's get the chat back. Click that button. Live sources. There we go. Why didn't it pull an image? I don't know. Activate. Didn't activate. Stop. Activate. Activated. Now we can make sure our sound is connected back to the headphones. Pellet knife set at Walmart, $3 shanks. Nice. It's nice that you can find a quote-unquote tinting tool at Walmart. They need a full squeegee set there. So we're gonna go around the housing. I was just asked in my most recent class a lot more about housing, mirror cutouts. Any newer car, wow, I thought that was gonna cut so much nicer than it did. There we go. Any modern car is going to have these types of cutouts. How they do them is all a little different, but the majority of them seem to follow where they have a big camera system right in the middle, kind of tie it in with a mirror, and then you just trim around it. So this has a mix. This has a mix of dot matrix and then all enclosed housing. So anything that's exposed, we're going to cover. And then the center portion, you can see where we trim that out. With newer cars, do I need to worry about water damage? You always need to worry about water damage. You always have to be careful, no matter the car. Well, I thought I had more dryer sheets. Oh, they're over here. I'm just gonna take a bunch of these, put them in my box. Extra careful on the pillars and such. Well, if you're good at covering things up, the only things that you really have to be wary of is unique materials. So an electric car is not gonna be inherently any more problems than a gas car. They all have electronics and systems and stuff. The problem can be the individual cars themselves. So pay attention to community groups. The common ones with common issues are often talked about because people are constantly fucking them up. I don't think Teslas are anything worse than your typical vehicle, honestly. Your Rams, 300s, Chargers, those were pretty typical. You have your mix of Mercedes, C300s, and I don't know, just a handful of other odds and end ones. But there isn't like a vehicle category that you have to be more careful of. Mazda is horrible with that. Are they really? I mean, I've seen a few Mazda issues in our group, but I wouldn't say anything excessive. I've also had them here and haven't run into any issues either. So I always feel like people are just doing something. Like, the vehicles with the most problems, inherently you have to be a little bit more careful of. But I feel like people are being especially uncareful with certain ones. What's the dryer sheet for? So the dryer sheet is going to help us with shrinking. It's effectively a waxy tack layer. So when we get into shrinking, you'll see how it's helpful. But I coated the windshield in it, and I'm taking a few seconds, and I'm going to completely dry it. So bone dry. Anywhere that's smeary, drips, still wet, that's going to grab the film, and we don't want anywhere unnecessary to grab. So like even all the way down here, we've coated past the line. We're gonna make sure this area is dry too. Keep waxing that car, boy. Yeah, we did with a dryer sheet. Boy. Do you double shrink after you remove the tape? Yeah. I never really looked at it like double shrinking, but yeah, I always touch up the top and the bottom after we trim it. Would you attend tint competitions? I used to go. I don't think I would, like, okay, so I like competing. I don't like the time competing takes. So I'd like to go and just hang out and talk to some people. I don't want to haul a bunch of stuff there. So like if my stuff was there and I could just like jump in and compete, I actually would. But I don't want to stand around all day with my stuff and do all that. I just don't have as much want to do that. But competitions are super fun. They definitely get your nerves going, that's for sure. There's tinter battles coming up. They're all filled, but I will hopefully be able to just like hang out there. That would be fun. How did you get into window tinting? I got into window tinting through my dad's company. He owned an auto accessories chain, and they had a few stores left. Window tinter quit, and they asked if I wanted to learn how to do it. I was there doing car accessories, detailing, and some other stuff. So I was still fairly new, but worked my way up to being helpful and competent. And so they're like, we can bring somebody in, they can teach you, and you'll make more money. I was like, sure, that sounds good. Do you feel like you would have a good shot winning at a cop? I think I would place pretty well. There was a Lumar one I placed second at one year. This was years back. That was more of a local one. I did the IFWA when they were in Indiana. My biggest problem was Avery Dennis's adhesive. So it was on the door window, so I got knocked out in the first round. My slip was too slippy. I was used to using NR, and they had brought NR Pro, and it was like 60 degrees inside the competition area. So my film hit the glass, and it just slid way more than I expected it to. So it still turned out all right, and then you roll down the window, and the film had shifted like that. I don't think I would win, but I think I'd place fairly well. At the time, I was doing mobile all the time. So doing a lot of cars every day, doing mobile, it was kind of right up my alley to do. But I was installing Avery at the time, picked up a roll of NR Pro, didn't account for the adhesive difference. And then it's like, well, fuck. That's that. Is Lumar the best? No. They have good films, though. They're just expensive. I saw a Suntech price list. Holy shit. I think we talked about this last stream. Somebody said that they were paying $350 for what would be their dyed film, $450 for carbon, and $650 for ceramic. And it's like, Jesus fucking Christ. That's wild. You're not getting better film for that money. You're just paying for more expensive film. I bought a big roll for my Tesla Model 3 windshield and failed shrinking it 5 times. Did it twice before, but cannot get it down. Any tips? Tried wet, tried dry. Windshields are pretty curvy, especially the Tesla ones. It just takes time and practice. What film? What film are you actually using? Okay, so dryer sheet helps us tack the film. So you'll notice I can wiggle it. I know this is 70, it's just gonna be harder to see, but I can wiggle it. It moves freely, but anywhere that I tack down, it'll fix in place and stay there. So that's why I like a dryer sheet. It'll let you organize and tack the film down when you want it to, and then it'll stay hovering above the glass, so when I hit it with heat, it shrinks nice and evenly. I gotta assume some people actually take time to practice specifically just to win. Oh yeah, absolutely. But if you're winning, you're absolutely an awesome tinter. And just if you're a tinter and you stay busy all year, you have the competition in mind. So you're kind of just mentally preparing every day as you work. The competitions are really like a mix of things. Winning is a combination of just very good skill and a little bit of luck. Because you can have just an off window. It's like judging your entire years of experience down to one window. And it's like you can just have an off window. That doesn't mean you're a worse tinter or a better tinter. It just means like everything lined up for that window and it just didn't work out that day. In a competition, do they provide tint? Yeah. Yeah, they'll provide tint. And so at the IWFA, there were basically all the brands that attended you could pick from, but you would basically want to pick whatever brand that you were currently using, because then you would be more familiar with their film. And the judging is a little bit subjective too. Like there's a point system, but like, you know, you're picking apart you're identifying specs and giving it an overall grade. And then there's other things that are taken into account, like did you clean up your area? Were there water drips on the door panels? Like all those little things can count against you. So you could tint a window fairly quickly and just be done. And then you didn't tape the switch. There was like a little bit of water here that all of a sudden started dripping down later and you didn't notice it, and then that's points off. All my tints have been installed from the inside. Well, if you hang out long enough, this one might get there. But if you skip, then it's staying on the outside. I love it. Always learn something. Doing tint 40 years. That's my, oh, you're such a blessing. I love people with that opinion. There's so many people that, like, they've been tinting for X amount of years and then they just get completely closed-minded. I want to mirror tint mine, but it's illegal in my state. It's only illegal if they catch you. Drive faster. It's good that they let you choose each brand. Oh yeah, because if there was like one brand that was paying for like Supreme sponsorship and everybody had to use their film, it would be so one-sided and biased. The installers that use that brand are obviously going to have the advantage. So you have different like levels of sponsorship and whatever. I don't know if you have to be a sponsor for that film to be available for you to use. But a lot of the major brands are all going to be there anyways, so. I'd say just going and being there is super fun, and participating is well worthwhile. If you like tinting and everything about it, it's just super fun to get involved with it. We're gonna buy a wholesale film. Our site, we have a hell of a discount right now. Geo is 30% off for the entire Black Friday week. It's a sale that they have never had before. And I will be surprised if they ever have it again. Yeah, I'm gonna be stocking up on stuff too. 100%. Lumar gold knife hanging on the wall of waiting room. What's the, Lumar has a gold knife? Oh, that's cool. I like stuff like that. How much to tint a Yukon Denali? If we're doing the front windshield, everything, all sides, back, front windshield would start at $450. And the film we're doing right now would be $650, and we have a ceramic that's in between that would be $550. So we're gonna trim this on the white line, prevents scratching, and it also works as a guide, even though this is the 70% and we can see it pretty clearly. Windsor, we're not that far from Windsor. After the border, probably like a 35, 40-minute drive. Biggest challenge new installers run into? Everything. Everything is more work than you think it is. Everything from trimming to shrinking to installing to figuring out how to market yourself. Everything. It's not just learn the skill, make money. It's learn the skill, now figure out how to grow a business. And figure out how to stand out in a world where everybody is doing very similar things. If you decided to, if you like going to start PPF, been looking into it, money seems pretty good. PPF looks to be more forgiving than Tint too, should be easy for you. PPF is if window tint and vinyl had a demon baby. Some aspects of it are easier, but your material cost is so much higher. And what can go fuck off is front bumpers. So this part, easy. Hood, easy. Fenders, easy. Bumper, fuck you, dude. Scrap a $400 piece of film. Actually, it wouldn't be that much. It's not that much. A good roll of PPF is going to be around $1,000. Some higher, some lower. The standard from Geo will make it more cost effective at like $550. So that helps with practicing costs, but I mean, how wide's a bumper? You got what, like 8 feet of film? It's like 80 to $100 worth of film if you scrap a bumper. Sucks. I mean, you could do a shorter roll, other stuff, but there's ways to bring the cost down some. But just in general, there's parts about PPF that are definitely like nice and easy, and just like window tint, the more practice, more proficient that you get, it becomes like window tinting and all the other services where it's just like, oh yeah, it's not too bad. So the instructor that came here through Optical, like Optical came out here, and we did some videos together, and they genuinely made me hate it a lot less. I don't hate PPF. There's a time I really enjoyed it. It's just, you know, if you're doing a front end, you're probably like a couple grand in, and it's just a different type of customer. So you could easily have something like a difficult part that has like a speck or two in it. And then you deliver the car and somebody's upset. And then it, costs you a couple $100 in more material. And hours more fun trying to meet their expectations. That's what's not fun. That's what's very much not fun about PPF. So similar story with window tint is like, you could have an issue with a windshield. Obviously you're scrapping material, but it's mainly the time. It's less expensive per mistake. But when I was talking to the trainer, he said, if you're avoid doing full vehicles at all costs if you can. Stick to like front ends and the stuff that's gonna take you 5 or 6 hours. And then you can charge $2,000, $2,500, and make more money doing that. But they're bigger sales. So it's just like a different type of customer. Your regular window tint customers are not just gonna convert into PPF front end customers. So if you're like higher end detailing, then it's easier to get PPF customers. If you're a window tint shop, you'll get some, but window tint customers are not PPF customers. There are people that absolutely do both, and they look at window tint like an afterthought. So it's like, yeah, I'm getting PPF, and I might as well get window tint while I'm there. Or I want to get everything done all together. But if you run a window tint shop, I think one of the coolest crossovers is to get your feet wet with PPF. So like you're doing smaller packages along with window tint. So it's also like, they're in for like a $500-$600 window tint package, right? And then you're like, hey, what about like the top area of your hood? What about the fenders? What about the mirrors? Stuff like that. And then they're like, oh, how much is that? Oh, that's not too bad. Yeah, door cups, edge guards, that kind of stuff. What I don't want to get is a guy with a brand new Corvette that wants to do the whole front end. And I'm like, ah, shit. I need a skilled PPF guy for that. I just don't want to be that guy anymore. All right, so we're going to gel the edges. Remember, we got this lovely thing. And then we'll spray the rest. Do you know how to wrap? Well, I mean, I'm very close to 18 Mile, and we're only 10 miles away from 8 Mile. So that means that it's in my blood, right? I always try and sell people a sun strip when they get here. Having little things is honestly something that I still overlook today, but I would very much expect other places to do it. A really good one is ceramic coating the windshield. It's pretty inherent, like it's a natural thing. Ooh, we want to do the other side. It's a pretty natural thing to get when you're getting window tint. Like, yeah, we're gonna ceramic the inside of the windshield. Have you thought about ceramic coating the outside? right, let's lay that back down. Go to the other side. We're gonna peel that up. So we're gonna peel this shy of our cutout, and then I'm gonna peel it up from this lower corner, and I keep the liner connected around that housing. It just helps with water that drips down in this area. It doesn't feed into the corners and bring in little specks anymore. What other upsells? A protection package is good too. So we had something called the guarantee. This was at other shops. See, the thing is I'm less salesy. That's my own problem. So there's like things that you can add, but I'm like genuinely not a natural salesman. Like people are coming in for window tint, so then I feel like I'm trying to sell them a bunch of extra stuff. So then I just end up sticking to window tint. But a really good one that people seem to like was it's basically like an insurance policy, but you can't call it that. So we called it the guarantee, and it would cover 2 windows, and it was like 40, 60, or 80, depending on the film that they bought. So if they bought our entry level, it was 40, carbon would be 60, and ceramic would be 80. And it was essentially like any 2 windows, you had a free redo. So why would somebody care about 2 windows while they're driving around? It was like no questions asked. There we go. There we go, it was already peeled. So let's say somebody's driving around, they decide that they don't like the shade of their front windows. They're like, I got 35, I should have went with 20. Bring it in, we'll replace it under that guarantee. If a window gets damaged, scratched up, you know, something that's not covered under warranty, bring it on in, we'll replace it. And then the other side effect was if somebody got pulled over for their front windows, we would remove them, allow them to go take care of whatever they have to take care of, and then come back in, and we'd retint them. And we sold a lot more than people ever redeemed, and that's kind of the point of a protection plan like that. But it was really good for business. And people that bought it, that used it, were very happy about it. And we also allowed them to rebuy it upon use. So, you know, if I'm driving around with 5% on my front doors, and I just, you know, paid a lot of money to get my car tinted, and then you're giving me a way to, like, in the state of Michigan, front 2 doors are illegal no matter what the shade unless you have a doctor's note. So we would tell people, obviously, you know, get a doctor's note. But if they were, let's say, too lazy and didn't, well then, they get the guarantee. If they got popped for the front windows, they can come back, get them replaced, rebuy the guarantee for the same price that they paid before. You know, so if it was $40 on the fronts, they can rebuy that after we reinstall it, and then they're under the protection plan again. Electronics companies will do this too. So like Best Buy, you can buy a protection plan that would cover, let's say, like I used one, for example, like a set of headphones. I bought their extra protection plan. And then headphones were out of warranty, still covered under the protection plan. They died, brought them back in. Cool, you're under our protection plan. We'll swap them out. Would you like to buy the protection plan again for that new set? So this was back in, I don't know, 2016. We were doing $40 for entry, 60 for carbon, and 80 for ceramic. You know what I'm gonna do, and then totally not do? I'm gonna reintroduce that. Ooh, that's a pretty good idea. Hang on. Sorry, my brain is braining. Yeah, like it was a good program. I'm just like so less salesy, so people come in for window tint, and I assume that's all they want. So that's all we ever talk about. I had a list of cool upsells, but I think like PPF, door cup, and edge guards are a really good add-on. Ceramic coating on a windshield and a protection package. I think you could really improve your overall tickets on average from just having those available. One shop I saw, they had it on their receipt, so they're checking. So it was basically like a question, would you like to add a ceramic coating? Here is how much it is. We had a student that would have a pre-sales thing go out to all their appointments. So they basically have an automation that, hey, we're excited to have you coming in. This is where we're located. There's a little bit about our company, or just something like that. But these are some optional extras that our customers typically get, and wanted to make you aware that we have them. And I think he had like a air filter change, along with some other stuff, like door cup and edge guards and little simple things like that. So you could easily take a window tint appointment for whatever and get some quick add-ons from it that everybody's happy with. But window tints are like so frustrating. Like if I vinyl wrap a car, I can immediately ask the customer, like, and this is normal, do you also want to ceramic coat the wrap? Same thing for PPF. You PPF it, do you want a ceramic coat on top of that? For window film, there's nothing to just like add on to the window film to help it lasting longer or something like that. There's not like, oh, you got A, so B goes along really well with it. It's like a one and done thing. So it's always been annoying to kind of figure out some of those extra things, but that was a short list of stuff that I think is well worthwhile to add. But one thing I would probably like to do is, if I'm doing a protection plan, I would bring that up at checkout. Or maybe make somebody aware that we have it and then ask them about it at checkout. And then the ceramic coating, you could send out like a preview ahead of time. So somebody gets, you know, hey, we look forward to having you. This is a 24-hour reminder, like this is a reminder that your appointment's in 24 hours. These are a few things that other people typically get. Just to let you know that they're available. And then when you're checking somebody in, hey, did you want to go ahead with ceramic coating on that windshield? Then they're already aware. And it's not a surprise because you have a lot to go over with shades and film types and stuff like that. Can you put glitter on the windows, or is that illegal? Most fun things that you do to your car are unfortunately illegal. I don't think there's any specific laws that prohibit glitter, though. So do some window film, throw some glitter in there. Go nuts. Luminous makes a star film. Have you seen the films that people are throwing on their sunroofs? That's been pretty cool to see. They make their sunroof look like a cathedral. They're pretty famous. Offer up a sale of a picture next to Detroit. I should just say, it's extra to be tinted specifically by me. And then they'll go, who are you? What? When I answer the phone, I say, don't you know who I am? Do you know how many subscribers? That works every time. That closes sales like nothing else. They're like, oh, wow, he's famous. There we go. That fixed it. No, I just had a hair up there. Do I buy the gel from you? Yeah, we have Insta-Gel. Did I bring that? I did. I want this one. You do a mentorship program? Not really. We have classes, we have live streams. It's kind of hard to find time to do any sort of dedicated mentorship. How long is a 30 off deal going to be good for? It's going to be good through Monday, but I would jump on it sooner than later, just because things can go out of stock. I can guarantee you anybody that buys GeoShield is planning on stocking up. More so than they normally do. It's already been super busy. So don't sleep on it for too long. My Slim Slam slips out. Is this normal? Unfortunately, they do loosen up. You can fix them by heating up, like, so take the squeegee out, heat out the short end, like just heat it up with a heat gun, and you can bend it right back. So that's what I've had to do on mine too. It's been a tough product to keep really thin. So you can, for example, I'll take it, I'm gonna heat this up. We're gonna put a couple screw holes in it and try and thicken it up and improve it just a little bit more. But you essentially do that, it gets hot, it softens up a little bit, and then you can take it and press it down, and it'll pinch in a little bit farther, more back to normal. Because as the squeegee sits in there, it starts to cause it to expand, but it happens slowly. What is the best roll size for truck windows or SUVs? 24-inch roll, tall enough to cover. Do that and then give it a chance to cool down so you can run it under cold water. Nice. But we're probably gonna put a few screw holes in here. There's just not a good way to do it that I'm super happy with because it'll dig into the squeegees. But we'll put a recessed spot in here. Screws that'll dig into the squeegee blade. That is probably the only surefire way that we're gonna get any type of, like, be able to keep a slim profile without making it into multiple parts. Or having to press fit stuff in and make it kind of obnoxious. Because everything has a little bit of a trade-off. The Magnum red line in the Slim Slam. Ooh, yeah, that's a really big red line squeegee. Yeah, that would be a cool combination. Can you explain the gel more? Again? So it's basically a barrier. It helps prevent trash from feeding in from the edges. So you spray your windows, you clean them off like normal, and then before you coat them in slip solution, anywhere where you think water might run in, so typically your edges, like the top and the sides on a windshield, it's just been very helpful for a lot of those like miscellaneous little speckles that you might get on the sides or extra dirt around mirror areas. So like as we're unrolling it, it's very easy for like water will like feed in off the lip of the film and just like trail in. So like water will feed around here, and the more that collects, it'll start dripping down. So when you spray gel along these edges, you don't have the same type of dripping, feeding trash into the film. So it just keeps all the edges much cleaner. So it's a really simple and effective tool that you can use just to basically put like a liquid mask on all the edges. I'm just gonna leave that there for now. I gotta throw these towels somewhere. Is it just like slip, or do I need something else? No, like I said, everything else is as normal. So you're still using your same slip solution. You still use your same spray bottles, same process. When you go to install the film, hit the edges with gel, and then you can still coat the rest of the window with your slip solution. You still coat the pattern with the slip solution. So the only gel that you're using is on the very edges of the window. You can use more, but I don't think it's gonna be as effective for anything. So I typically tape edges of doors. That was my way of preventing trash on feeding into the sides. It's essentially a similar thing. It's just gel instead of tape. And so then it becomes far easier on your windshields to mask those off. But yeah, I think everybody can benefit from using it. It's a hugely discussed thing right now in our community group. Everybody's coming out with their own gel, or finding something else that they like or whatever. But your main ones that you're gonna hear about right now is any of the PPF ones. This one, Important Sauce, and Instagel. They're effectively all gonna do the same thing. Some are gonna be thicker than others, which is really gonna be the biggest differentiator. A thicker gel will help protect the edges a little bit more, but it's not gonna make a dramatic night and day difference. But using anything, I think, is super helpful. So whether that's like 3Ms or Expels or, you know, any other buddy's PPF gel, it should be fine. If it's fine for PPF, it should be fine for window film. Instagel is specifically for window tint and PPF. Important Sauce is specifically for window tinting. That's all good. That's on the outside. Yeah, that turned out nice. I'm really happy with that. I like it. But yeah, it's really cool to see a lot of people that have been, you know, tinting for a long time, and all basically, I mean, not all of them, but a lot of them will unanimously say that they enjoy using it and it makes a difference. Oh, reverse rolling? I start on the driver's side and I work towards the passenger side. I find it's easier to move away from the steering wheel area. On some vehicles, you just don't have much space. On this one, it wouldn't matter as much. But if you're unrolling into a tighter area, it's not going to be super fun. Let me just make sure everything's pressed out. Do you tell customers to wait to wash their cars? No, not at all. Tints on the inside, they can take it through a car wash right away. I wish we had something to cover the paint. I'm just not a shop to wash cars. Not that I don't really want to. It's that when you start touching paint, there's the off chance that you can just get blamed for something that you know you didn't cause. So like you're dragging a wash mitt around a car, somebody swears you scratched the paint. You don't really know what it looked like. So we just do not touch paint. We touch windows. Unfortunately, there's drips and stuff that get on the paint. But it can all be washed off. That's just up to the customer. I've never been accused of anything here. I have seen instances at other shops that have made me nervous. Just so easy. Like, think you're doing a good thing. Most customers would be very happy with getting a washed car afterwards, and the occasional person is just going to be like, oh, I'm very particular about my car. So I suppose you could probably ask people before you took it on yourself, like, do you want us to wash your car? But then I almost feel like I gotta also make somebody sign a waiver. Do you want us to wash your car? Oh, and sign this saying that we did not damage your paint if you see something after the fact. Looks good. That looks really nice. I'm happy with that. I don't hear it a lot, but man, we really do appreciate you showing us your ways. Thank you. I appreciate that a lot. It's easy to get a bunch of negative comments that are like, why do I even do this? But I definitely appreciate that. How is the floor tile in the shop? Is it easy to clean? It's kind of they're not that bad, but it is gonna take time. So like, it's not something that gets swept up every day. You're gonna break apart the floor into big sections, drag it out, and scrub underneath. It's a dirt catch. So there's hundreds of little blades. There's scuzzy, soapy water under there that would just need to get scrubbed and then swept out the garage door. But then, the only way to get to it is to drag out big sections and do it a section at a time and then move it out towards that door. So it doesn't get done. So it stays in the state of, it looks good enough. Don't think about that, because our floor color underneath is like a dark grayish blue. So things don't really show through very much either, so you just don't notice it. Don't notice it. That's just down there. Alrighty. Well, that's that. I gotta deliver this one. It's 2 o'clock. We're gonna wrap it up for today. Thank you for hanging out. I appreciate you. Thank you for the hearts. Appreciate it. You guys have a good one. I'm likely not gonna be live until, I don't know, maybe Monday. So have a good Thanksgiving and everything.